Hello guys, welcome back to JazzedTutorials, and this week I'm showing you a cool text effect. It's Velcro text effect. I created this actually by accident, and it resembled a Velcro-like effect, so that's why I called it the Velcro text effect. So I'm going to share with you guys how I made this lovely accident. Alright, so I started off with text that's bold and awesome. I'm using black for my background because, as you know, Velcro is sometimes on the back black, and then you got a color on the top. So I used Arial Bold. Arial is a standard font, and Bold is also standard. If you want to use Arial Black, you could as well. That's a good font as well, but I liked Arial Bold. I used a 60-point size for mine. And then what I did is I had to rasterize the layer. By the way, guys, rasterize your layer once you've typed your text, because you're going to have to go and distort this. And to use distort on there, you have to have it rasterized. Otherwise, the actual action is not available. It's grayed out. And then I warped it to a position I liked. So that was what I got right there. And that's kind of where we're at now. So once you've done that with your text, go ahead and double click the layer. We're going to add a few styles to it. We're going to start at the top with bevel and emboss. I have an inner bevel for the style, a smooth technique with a depth of 1%. The direction is up, the size is 4, the soften is 1. Do not have global light checked off, there's no global light needed. We have a 90-degree angle with a 30-degree altitude. Our highlight mode is set to overlay with a white color with a 10% opacity. And then below we have shadow mode at color burn with black as our color and a 50% opacity. Moving down, we have an inner shadow, and this is a white color with linear dodge add as our blend mode. We have no global light selected, so we have a 40-degree angle. Oh, and a 40% opacity on this layer, by the way. And then distance is 4, choke is 0, and size is 0. And our noise should say 20% on the quality at the bottom. Last but not least, we're going to start adding drop shadow. Make sure your drop shadow is this lovely color here. It's a grayish black color. And we then have a 20% opacity with a blend mode of linear burn. Again, no global light should be checked off. We have a 40-degree angle with a distance of 2, a spread of 0, and a size of 0, and that's that. And you should see something like that. Okay, so that's where we're at this point. That's essentially what we've got there. Now, at this point, we're going to have to duplicate this layer. And we're going to duplicate this layer, and we're going to move our duplicated layer all the way to the bottom here. I have a bunch of layers already set out, so I will show you. So on the copy layer, I named mine shadow because essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating a shadow effect. So, do that on the duplicated layer, just so you know what you're doing. Name it shadow, just so you understand that's what that is and you're not confused. Right click and clear layer style, so that way all those layer styles we had on the first layer are not on this layer. Then after doing so, double click, and you're going to add a drop shadow on this one. Leave the blend mode to multiply with black as your color. Opacity should be 30%. 8-degree angle, no global light. Distance should be 13. Spread 0, and a size of 2. Then you should see something like that. Alright, it looks sort of 3D-like. That's what we want. Now we have to add the Velcro part. So the part, which is the top that kind of like is coming off of the top of the Velcro. So to do that, what I did is I found a random texture. And this is a texture in which was found on Google.com. So props to whomever owns this texture. If that's you, yank you, thank you. Alright, so I took this texture, placed it on top. Now you'll notice how mine's already warped, and we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, mine looks a bit weird right now, only because I have other layers attached to it. So paste on your lovely texture, and you're going to use the Alt key, and you're going to make a clipping mask, and that's going to clip it to the exact text you have, essentially creating a lovely effect. So then, below your texture, you want to add a color fill of white. So you get a color fill with a clipping mask down towards the actual layer. And then you have the lovely texture on top. And the texture on top, you have the paper texture, which I'm going to call paper texture, should be a 40% opacity. That way it's not too ridiculous and it doesn't make it look really odd. So there's that. And that, my friends, is how we made that. Then what I had to do is I had to go ahead and take, hold on, this is confusing for you guys, I'm so sorry. Alright, we're going to unclip this because I need to really explain this thoroughly. I don't exactly think I did explain this thoroughly, and you guys need to know thoroughly. So, alright, I have a curve layer. You saw that, right? And you were like, what the hell? How did it get curved automatically? What I did is I did another Control-J, copied the actual first layer we made with all those cool effects, with the drop shadow, the blend mode, the bevel and boss, all that. That's on the very top. So put that layer on the very top, the one you're going to copy right now. Do a Control-J of that layer. Leave it on top. Then what I just showed you, which was the clipping mask of those layers, the clipping mask of the texture, and the clipping mask of our color fill, go ahead and clip those back on top. Make them visible. Okay, so the top layer. Go back to the top layer that we just made, that Control-J one. I think I'm not making sense and I feel really bad, but I'm trying to explain the best I can in a visual sense. So, okay, the top layer. I named that curve because we're curving the top layer. So, on that layer, go ahead and do a Control-T. Take your warp tool and you're going to warp it upwards like so. So that way, the black part of the previous layer, which was our first layer we made in Photoshop, will show through. And the white and the paper texture on top, which is the curved copy layer we just made, will then be showing. So now it looks like you're peeling away your Velcro. Kinda cool, right? So there you go. That's essentially how I made the effect. It was completely by accident. I was trying to go for a different effect altogether, but wasn't working out, and then this came out, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool, so here we are. You could do this on multiple layers if you wanted to make a second version of this. Like I have JazzedTutorials made in here, so I did the same exact steps on another layer. Although for some reason my font didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so it looks a bit weird, but that's fine, it's whatever, it's still the same. So yeah, that's basically how you make the Velcro effect in Photoshop. I know using a paper texture wasn't probably the best option because it's not really Velcro-like, but it gave me that, like, Velcro-ing look on top, so I liked it. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, please do hit like. If you want to subscribe to see more cool stuff like this throughout the year, month, whatever, hit subscribe. I do post at least once a week. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Oh, and also, guys, you can comment below with any suggestions, feedback, whatever. If you all have anything you want to see on this channel, you can comment that too. Be like, hey, I want to see you make something like this, or whatever. Do that too. Also, social media links are also below in the description box, as well as the texture download, because you will need that, no doubt about it. And I will see you guys later. Bye!